Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's they made what into a movie? And we are looking at Mortal Kombat. Yes, it's back again. We have covered Mortal Kombat, the original, Mortal Kombat Annihilation in this series. But we've also done Mortal Kombat Conquest, the TV show, in this series version of this. And now we return to the franchise to take a look at the 2021 reboot of the video game franchise film series. A movie that came with a ton of hype, that I saw when it first came out, and I liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was the best Mortal Kombat movie to date.
Yep.
Agreed?
Yep, I agree with you.
I've only seen it twice. It was then when it came out, and as of the time of recording, just today, I rewatched it for the second time. On second watch, I didn't enjoy it as much. There's a few scenes that I think really dragged the movie down, and there's a couple of characters I was a bit like, ugh.
Yeah.
But still think it's a damn good movie.
Yeah.
Considering we know how hard Mortal Kombat is to turn into a film,
Yeah.
this is their best version of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's directed by Simon McQuaid. It is feature directorial debut. So the first time this guy made a feature film. From a screenplay by Greg Russo and Dave Callahan, and a screen story by Russo and Oren Uzel. So a couple of people involved there,
Yep.
but they hold it together well enough. The film grossed 83 million worldwide against a 55 million budget. Part of the reason why that doesn't sound like a lot is because this movie was released simultaneously on HBO Max and in the theatres, because it came out during the pandemic.
Yep.
So basically, you didn't get as much cinema watching because people were seeing it at home. So even still, the fact it did 83 on a 55, not bad. It also became HBO Max's most successful film launch to date, with a sequel confirmed to be in development. That's no surprise.
No.
Cast. Let's fly through them. Lewis Tan as Cole Young. Jessa McNamee as Sonya Blade. Josh Lawson as Kano. Mechad Brooks as Jax Briggs. Ludi Lin as Liu Kang. Max Huang as Kung Lao. Tadanobu Asano as Lord Raiden. Chin Han as Shang Tsung. Joe Talsum as Bihan and Sub-Zero. Hiroyuki Sanada as Hanzo Hayashi and Scorpion. Matilda Kimber as Emily Young, Laura Brent as Alison Young, Sissy Stringer as Melina, Mel Jarson as Natara, Nathan Jones as Rico, Daniel Nelson as Cabal, doing the action and the stunts, Damon Herriman as Cabal, the voice, and Angus Sampson as the voice of Goro. So, Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. Nope, don't get it. Opening, where's that music? And I was like, yeah. I know why. Here's the thing. I know why you don't want to be doing that. It's not that film. You want to say it's not that film.
No, man, you do want to do that, man. So I'm telling you, that day would have been everyone would be like, oh yes.
No, I disagree. I actually disagree with you in this one. I actually think it was the right move to leave it out until the end. Because what you're saying is this isn't Mortal Kombat. You don't want to associate, what you don't want to do is associate that movie with this movie. You want to be like, you know what, that's its own thing, and we don't want you... Because if that happens, I'm immediately thinking back to 1996 and ready for cheese.
Yeah, obviously.
And that's not good. But we do begin... we begin in the 17th century Japan, as the Shirai ninja clan, led by Hanzo Hayashi, is attacked by Lin Kuei assassins led by Bihan. And I was like, fucking conquest shit, bitch. It's a violent and bloody start, which sees the early development of both Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It also tells you exactly what kind of Mortal Kombat movie we're about to watch, because there's a lot of blood. You're like, okay, cool. I love the location as well.
Yeah.
Looks lovely.
Yeah.
Hanzo's wife and young son are killed, but the infant daughter is hidden in the floor. That's important. Hanzo manages to kill many of the Lin Kuei, but is eventually killed by Bihan in a decent fight.
Yeah.
Stop here. Overall, what did you think of the fights?
I quite like them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love the brutality of it, because obviously that's what the game was.
Of course,
Yeah,
it still is.
It still is. Yeah. You know, I think the locations were good, the graphics were good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I actually think a lot of time the fights are the worst parts of the movie.
Oh, really? Wow.
But I think
Yeah,
I'll explain as we
yeah,
go
yeah.
on as to what my issues with a lot of them are. Anyway, so Hayashi, he's killed. His soul is then condemned to the Netherrealm. Why? I mean, he crawls, as he's dying, he crawls towards his daughter, but like, does he wish for revenge? Is he, like, I don't really get why. You know, but there you go. Raiden, God of Thunder. Look, I love the look of this dude. Love him. Looks exactly like how I want Raiden to look. Best Raiden.
Come
Yep.
on. Really?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Nah.
Jeff, right, so let's explain this. We both have a love for Jeff Meek of Mortal Kombat Conquest Raiden. However, we both agreed this at the time, so I need to remind you of this because I think you've forgotten it. We both agreed that Jeffrey Meek, while funny and amusing, didn't always portray the power of Raiden and the godliness he has.
Yeah.
This is a god. 100%.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll go with that, yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, he arrives and take Hanzo's surviving infant daughter to safety. And I was like, right, there's your opening. Get Mortal Kombat logo. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. In present time, we get some text that quickly fills us in on the Mortal Kombat blanks.
Yep.
Appreciate this because guess what? The film doesn't retell us these exact same things 100 times over.
I know.
It's mentioned a bit later on, but mainly in conversations rather than repeating itself. Outworld has defeated Earthrealm in 9 of 10 tournaments, known as Mortal Kombat. If Earthrealm loses the 10th tournament, the rules state it'll be conquered by Outworld. It's Mortal Kombat, we know this.
Yep.
This is familiar stuff. But the new aspect, we have a new aspect thrown in. And it surrounds an ancient prophecy which states that the blood of Hanzo Hayashi will unite a new generation of Earthrealm's champions to prevent Outworld's victory. Specific.
Very, yeah.
We then meet MMA fighter Cole Young, who is with his wife and daughter about to have a fight. Basically a low-key, cheap operation. Do you ever see the beginning of Rocky? The first Rocky movie where Rocky's fighting in that grotty little place. Kind of reminded me of that kind of beginning.
Yeah.
But MMA, innit?
Yep.
Yeah. Cole is a hothead who doesn't fight particularly well. We see a man who we will later know as Jax arrive and watch the fight, which Cole loses via tap out and is pretty beat up. Should we stop here and talk about Cole? The main character, a brand new non-game character, which I 100% support. Do you know why I support that? No, I support him as main character. Listen, here's my justification. I support it because we have no pre-existing character stuff to put in him.
Yep.
If we'd been Johnny Cage or he'd been Liu Kang, we'd have been comparing him to someone else, be it a movie or a game version of that character. Would have been someone brand new. We've got nothing to project on at all. So that's why it's a good idea.
True, but...
But, yeah, he's shit.
Well,
I think he's really, really crap. I think he's bland. I think he's boring. I think he's got no personality at all. I really struggled to, every time he was on screen, to not go, oh, because like it felt like he wanted it.
Yeah.
But I like him. Regardless of all that, I like the man, if that makes sense. I think the character's the problem. The actor's doing the best he can with what he's given. What do you think? You obviously you like him?
He's okay. He's okay, but I don't like when movie adaptions try to add new characters in.
Right.
You know, Resident Evil, Alice, Assassin's Creed, new characters. You know, this new characters.
So who do you think this should have been then? Who do you think should have been the main character?
It should have been Liu Kang.
Why?
Because, sorry, Liu Kang or Kung Lao. Because they are, well, their ancestors are the ones who are.
But then aren't we just redoing Mortal Kombat 96? And don't you already have an opinion of what Liu Kang should be like? Like, for example, the Liu Kang in this movie is not the Liu Kang we've ever seen before.
No, of course not, but obviously...
But imagine he'd been your main character. Would you not likely have been like, well, that's shit?
Possibly, but, I mean, it's a reboot, so obviously you got to understand that it's a reboot.
Absolutely, it's a reboot.
Yeah.
That's why I'm defending the use of a brand new character. Because what it is there are no rules attached to him. There's nothing that says to you, oh, well, if that's Liu Kang, why didn't he do the bicycle kick? Or if he does this... Liu Kang never did that move, or all this sort of stuff, do you know what I mean? Like, it removes all of that problem. Problem for me, like I said, I think he's bland. I think he's very bland.
Yeah.
We then cut to Outworld. So, stop again. Outworld. Bit different looking?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like it.
Like it too, because guess what? You can see.
Well, yeah.
There are day scenes in Outworld.
Yes.
It looks like a bit of a desert, sort of barren wasteland.
Yeah.
but it isn't those horrible dark purple colours and shit like that. I was pleased. Yeah. And we see that Sub-Zero is meeting Shang Tsung and being told to go kill all of Earthrealm's fighters to ensure there will be no 10th tournament for Outworld to lose. Right, before we get onto each of these characters and we'll talk about them too, I want to point out that this part made me go, wait, what? This makes no sense. If there's no tournament, then Outworld can't win the 10th, right? Like, if there's no tournament, you can't win the 10th to actually enter.
I can only think that when I saw this was that if Earth have got no fighters to enter, then they're automatically disqualified.
Right, presumably.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Or the only other thing I could think of was that the prophecy only applies to this specific event. And if you take out all the fighters, then the prophecy passes. Yeah. And then you can just do the tournament without the risk of that prophecy coming true. That's it. But I don't think it's very well said. Because I was like, that makes no sense. Yeah. Right, Shang Tsung. Cool as fuck. Cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love? He gives an impression of stately, imposing danger. And they're so careful to never let him do anything. Because what they're trying to do is hide the power he has. That when he does one thing, you're like, fuck me, he is powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it gives off that sign of, I'm a badass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It does. I mean, is he your Shang Tsung?
No.
No.
Number one, always number one, because number one exuded passion. This one is a different Shang Tsung, and I'll accept that. Probably second best.
Better than Conquest one, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, man! I got no problem with what's a Bruce Locke.
Yeah, Bruce Locke. Yeah.
But yeah, no, not at all. Which then brings us to Sub-Zero himself, B-Han, as he looks in the outfit. So let's talk about that outfit. Obviously, it was quite controversial. It has a little bit of blue in it. It's quite a different look for him. Fucking loved it. Loved it. Looks amazing. Yep. Generally love the fact that it's not CG. It's a clearly made outfit.
Yep.
I loved it.
I mean, one of the biggest pluses for this film is that the CG, obviously the CGI, but it's very...
A lot of the practical effects look great. Yeah. There's a great mix of CG and practical, and a lot of it really holds up. They spent money, 55 million.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Cole is washing up and has a sudden vision of fire and flames. Not the Dragon Force song. Not the Dragon Force song. That would have been in his head. shit. Oh, what the fuck was that? Noodling away for 4 minutes. His daughter gives him a string bracelet. Jackson arrives and introduces himself. Jax asks Cole about a dragon birthmark he has in his chest. Cole shows him and he leaves with his family. This interaction, I quite like. I like Jackson's approach. Very, very warm, very friendly, like, because you expect, I'm whatever. He's not. He doesn't even do any of that. He just asks some questions.
I was about to say, can we talk about Jax for a second?
Yeah, we will.
Because I mean...
Right, before we do that, let's just talk about Jax in general as we have portrayed in other movies. Famously, if you've watched the other stuff, Damon despises the version of Jax that exists in the first film. Yeah. Because he's in it for one scene and leaves Sonya to get on the boat. Sonya!
Pointless. Jax
in the second film, while the guy... I can't remember who plays him, tries his hardest. He's given dialogue that is all stereotypical.
I'm a tough man.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I hated what they do with the metal arms as well, where it's not so much arms, but more covering over his arms.
Yeah.
So then we have Jax in this film.
Impressive.
Yeah, it's good, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I like him too. I like what they do with him.
If we ever do rankings of all of them, this version of him will be high.
Oh, we might go. All right. You've got an idea there. So yeah, Cole meets his wife and seems a bit bummed out, so they get some food. Jax is watching nearby in a car and talking to someone about Cole having the marks. Obviously, the dragon, not a tattoo, it's a birthmark.
Yep.
I did kind of smile at that because I was like, birthmarks are birthmarks, but man, if your birthmark made the perfect shape of a dragon, that's like, I'd be a bit like, that's fucking weird, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
As Cole and his family eat, well, Cole's inside, his daughter's eating outside, I think he's paying or something.
Yeah.
Snow begins to fall. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then his wife says, but it's July.
Yep.
And you get that moment where you're like, and then the ice creeps over the table and they're like, boom, he's here. Because one thing this movie does fucking brilliantly, it makes Sub-Zero out to be a threat.
Really, really bad threat.
Like one that you're like, oh yeah, this guy can fuck everyone up. Yes, absolutely. The snow turns to ice, begins to spread, and the ninja appears and shoots shards of ice at the diner, smashing all the windows. Drax drives up and gets Cole and his family in his car before speeding off. He reports to Blade, someone called Blade, which we should all know who that is, that he is Cole, and they'll meet at their base. Jackson shows Cole that he has the same dragon mark and tells him that he has been chosen to fight. Cole is obviously not very receptive to this because, what? This is a lot of information for the guy to take in.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's working for me, though.
Yeah.
They're doing it in a succinct but nice and clear way that you're getting all the information you need.
They're explaining all this shit.
Yeah.
It's not all this chucked you on one hit.
No.
Then you got to work out yourself.
Yeah, because you're being told this, but yet what you haven't got the details, Sonya will fill in a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Jax turns down an alley and is stopped by a waiting Sub-Zero. These are the scenes I love. Just Sub-Zero standing there in the distance, and you're like, he ain't even got to move, and that's enough to stop things.
Yes.
Like, that's dangerous. Jax gets out and tells Cole to take the car and find Sonya Blade, giving him the address. Jax then takes a gun and goes to fight Sub-Zero as Cole leaves. Jax has led into an ice-covered building where Sub-Zero attacks and destroys the gun. Love that scene. Freezes the front of it. It blows up. Great stuff. They fight. It's a decent fight.
Yeah.
But when I get to the... Right, I'll explain. Jax loses and gets his arms destroyed. Sub-Zero leaves him for dead, and it's a good fight with a very nasty end. But it was here I kind of went, here's my problem. And it will be highlighted later on. The fights are slow. In an attempt to try and make you see everything and filming in a certain way, everyone looks to me like they're moving slightly slow. Slow motion. So it never feels frantic and frenzied. And I'm talking about a good example of a comparative would be Liu Kang versus Reptile in the original, which is really fast. Remember those punches? And stuff like that. This feels like everyone's going to go... And I know it's kind of what they're going for is heavier hits rather than fast paced, but I started to notice it as it went on, and I was a bit like, I want break it up, have these slower, heavier hitting fights, but then give me these fights where I'm like, holy fuck, that's fast.
I think it's because they wanted the actors to try and perform down to some too.
Unlikely. I mean, some may have. I'm not sure about the details on that. It's unlikely. But I think it's more likely as they were like, look, we want people to be able to see the fights. And I guess I can't complain about that. And the thing is, I'm not such a hater of the fights that, like, it's ruined the film for me. It's just something I noticed here and I became a bit more aware of as the film went on. But I was at this point, man, this film is already so much better than the original Mortal Kombat. Like, for me, the comparative was always going to be this versus Mortal Kombat 96.
Yeah, of course.
Annihilation, get in the bin, nothing's there. Unless I get Khan crying about Daddy not loving him, there was no chance this film could fail.
Let's wait for number 2.
Cole arrives home where he drops his family off and tells his wife, look, I'm going to have to go find the Sonya Blade because clearly Sub-Zero's after me. Hey, good decision making. In Outworld, we see Melina reporting to Shang Tsung about Sub-Zero's effort and Cole's evasion. Shang Tsung says to send more assassins. She questions the involvement of Raiden and what will happen if they're caught breaking the rules. And he's like, don't worry about the Elder Gods, I'd handle them. And tells Melina to send in the reptilian Sazzoth. Stop here. And a lot happens here. And a lot of it I don't like. So, Melina, love how she looks.
She does,
I love it. No complaints there. Where was she that she knows all this information? Part of me wants Sub-Zero had have written like an ice letter and posted it to her.
Smile, maybe, you know.
Presume she's watching then, or where? All right, I never like that. It just feels convenient. Was she going to report back to Shang Tsung? Shang Tsung's like, all right, send more assassins, and like then mention Sazzoth, and I'm like, the fuck is Sazzoth? Obviously, Sazzoth is this film's version of Reptile. No problem with that. Once I make it clear, what I don't like is the fact that in a roundabout way they're trying to kind of make gloss over an important aspect, which is rule breaking. The rules of Mortal Kombat being broken, and it's kind of like, oh, you just glossed over that, and Elder Gods, so I'll deal with them. I'm like, wow, that's it. That's all we're going to do in that. And I realise here's a fucking problem this film has that the previous films struggled with as well. Mortal Kombat lore writes you into a corner. Because of the rules. So you've got a choice. You either pretend they don't exist. That's an important aspect of the tournament. Because then you're like, if you pretend that doesn't exist, why even have a tournament?
That's it, exactly.
Or you try and gloss over it and just get past it. Can't blame the film for trying.
Every film, even the TV shows, they
all struggled. Because it's a rule that obstructs you from being able to do certain things because, I can't fight because of rules. And you're like, well, how are we going to get to that then? Cole has tracked Sonya to a hideout and finds it interrogating a captive Australian mercenary named Kano. Sonya fills in Cole about her and Jax's work, so this is where he got exposition, in particular the investigation of Mortal Kombat existence and a dragon mark, which apparently can be transferred to anyone who kills the original bearer. Cole is rightfully dismissive and points out that combat is spelt wrong. I like that. It's spelt wrong. I like, that's funny. Sonya has a toughness I like, so let's get into these characters. because there's a lot that come in here. Sonya, I think she's pretty cool.
Yes.
Got a nice toughness to her, but also a sort of level where she almost feels less involved as the film goes on, and involve her quite nicely. Yeah. No problem with that. Didn't love the whole Dragon Mark transfers thing. I think that's, again, a lazy plot development.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll accept it because, hey, Mortal Kombat. And then we have the best character in the entire film.
Easy.
Kano.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fucking love him.
And played brilliantly well, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
However you've seen Kano, now bear in mind the original Kano was not Australian. But obviously, famously, the actor who played Kano in the original movie put an Australian accent. And that became Kano going forward. Kano in all games nowadays is Australian. It became the bar. This guy's Australian, plays it that way, will not shut up, but is fucking hilarious, is violent, is nasty. Good God, this is a great version of Kano.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
He is Kano. He takes that mantle.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. But I also like the fact he comes across like you could beat him up, but then you probably couldn't because he's super dangerous. But ultimately, biggest thing is funny. Yeah. But he has a marking too, a dragon marking. But he got his via the transfer method. And I was a bit like, oh, Kano's going to be a good guy in this movie? That's interesting. But we'll kind of get a bit more into that as the film goes on.
Yep.
We then find out that Sonya doesn't have a marking, but before they can continue their talk, the lights go off and are attacked by Sazoth, who cuts Kano's face in a nice, quite violently looking image. This beast is basically Reptile from the game, and they fight it for a little bit, and Kano ends up killing it, ripping out his heart with Cole and Sonya's help. Alright, don't mind this CGI monster.
Yeah.
It's not the best bit of CGI in the film, but I'm okay with it. With her base wrecked and her location known, Cole says that he believes Sonya now. Obviously, after all of that, you're like, alright, yep. Boom, thumbs up. Kano tells him he knows where Raiden's temple is, but refuses to tell her where it is. Sonya tries to buy him and they negotiate, resulting in Kano agreeing to help them. So, this is a shit scene.
Yep.
I don't like this. It's so convenient that apparently he knows where Raiden's temple is because he used to run guns through there. She then says, oh, you can go, because you won't help her. And then immediately chases after him and offers him $2 million. He makes a very strong point of being like, you can't afford $2 million. What the fuck you live out here?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, you know, acts like she can. And then he's like, $3 million. She agrees. And then after she says to Cole, of course I haven't got $3 million. Why would Kano believe that for a second?
Yeah, don't get it. I don't get it a bit.
No, don't get it at all. No. Like, it's I know we got to get there, but it felt like this could have been done in a different way.
Yeah, definitely,
While on Kano's friend's plane, Cole has another vision. This one is a bit clearer and sees Hanzo in hell repairing his rope blade thing. I don't know what they call that thing. Oh, actually, I do. But back when I wrote this, I didn't.
Yeah.
It said later on, yes. They parachute out of the plane, landing some distance away from the temple in the desert. Cole is getting frustrated and Kano tries to bait Sonya into fighting him, which they do, and she beats him fairly easily and holds the knife to his throat. He kind of encourages. I thought that was an interesting touch.
Yeah.
Almost like he had a kind of thing where it's suicidal.
Yeah, definitely.
As they continue on, they see a figure in the distance who approaches them. The figure walks up to them and blasts Kano with a fireball before telling the others that he's not their enemy. Probably say that before blasting someone with a fireball. Yeah. But he has been looking for them. This is Liu Kang, and Kano is wowed by the fireball, wondering if it means he can do that. Liu Kang tells him to follow them. So Liu Kang, what do you think? Younger?
Yeah.
Interesting look?
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, what do you think of him as a character?
I like him,
yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's good that they've got someone from that sort of lineage.
Yeah, from the background.
Yeah,
the culture.
Yeah.
I mean, props to this film for putting almost everybody from the culture in the right roles.
Yeah, perfect.
Really, really done. You're absolutely right. I really like him. I think I love how smooth and shaped his face is.
The perfect,
feet. He's very attractive to look at.
Yeah.
But I also think, God, that does look like Liu Kang younger.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Liu Kang leads them to the temple and tells them that they have to train for Mortal Kombat as it starts soon. Deeper in, they see murals that tell the tales of Mortal Kombat, and Liu Kang remarks upon Outworld, while Cole sees a mural about Hanzo's death specifically. Liu Kang tells them that training is to start, and there aren't many of those who hold a mark left. He talks about unlocking their inner power before confronting Kano about stealing. Really like that bit. He's doing this big old speech, and he's just like, put it back. Straight at Kano. Kano's like, what? This film does that well. Yeah. Little moments of comedic timing. I'm like, that was amusing, you know?
Yeah.
Sonya wanders off and finds Jax unconscious. Liu Kang arrives and tells her, look, we found him. We hunted him down. We're trying to help him, but we're going to have to see what happens. We see they're trying to build some metal arms for him. Apparently, the ice cauterized the wound. I like that Liu Kang mentioned that as well.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Strong point. Surprising the shock didn't kill him, but, you know, Mortal Kombat, fair enough.
Yeah.
Liu Kang then takes him to see Raiden, who basically gets his inner Jeffrey Meek and just treats him like the dick. Like a dick.
Shit.
I love this. Is like, the fuck are you guys? You ain't even got a mark, you cunt. Get out. Do you know what I mean? He is really dismissive.
Yeah.
But Cole demands that are given a chance to fight. We then see Sub-Zero arriving and Liu goes to fight him. They start and Liu is about to die almost immediately before being saved by the arrivals of Kung Lao. Yeah, what do you think? You look dismissive of Kung Lao.
Yeah, because it did.
Is it because he's not Kung Lao from Conquest?
Yes and no. Yeah, yes and no.
You're right.
But mainly because of the fact that Liu Kang's his descendant of him.
Yep.
So,
No, not in this. Not in this.
Yeah, that's where the confusion always was. Obviously, in this is not. But obviously, in Mortal Kombat history,
Law, yeah.
Yeah, law. That's his, I don't know, great grandfather.
Well, he changed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you can't change it.
You can change it, Damon.
Change it, man.
You are such a stickler. I know we do these videos. You're such a stickler.
I know.
But I'm sticking to specific rules that limit what they can do.
I know. But
The thing is, Liu's relationship with Kung Lao works now almost like a father and son. An older brother thing,
does.
which makes the conflict stronger. If that makes sense.
Can't they just done the same for like Raiden because he had a mark and he brought him to this timeline because of the mark.
Well, I always felt like, particularly in this film, by the end as well, that they did what they did with Liu Kang because they want to utilize him in a different way. And I'll hint to something else when we get there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, saved by Kung Lao. He's got a whole hat. Kung Lao, I like Kung Lao's look.
Yeah.
I really do.
So
I also like that he comes
look.
across tougher.
Yeah.
Like tougher. Liu Kang comes across like a kid. Kung Lao is not a kid.
He's got the actual game look too. Right?
Yeah, he really does actually. Yeah, absolutely. Sub-Zero leaves before returning with Shang Tsung and Mileena. Shang Tsung tells Sub-Zero and Mileena to kill them, all but leave their souls to him before Raiden arrives and demands to know what Shang Tsung is doing. What are you doing, you prick? You can't come in here. You don't invite. Shang Tsung points out that the fighting outside the tournament is allowed, and the Elder Gods are too lazy to stop him before mocking Raiden's champions. And I'm like, oh, so you just don't? Yeah, you are just trying to fuck those rules. We're doing the annihilation thing.
I do, yeah, but I like that if they obviously could go, they don't screw up number two. It's showing that the Elder Gods basically they don't give a shit. They don't care.
As long as that is told in a proper way and not the way they did in Annihilation.
Well, I mean, if the way they're explaining things in this film, I really hope they sort of stick to the same sort of lines in the next one, and they don't. Like I said, they don't.
I have an idea. So I would have it that the Elder Gods are dead. And that these Elder Gods that they worshipped or believe and not heard from whatever have been dead a long, long time.
Don't exist.
Don't even exist.
Yeah.
That whole thing. And that causes, obviously, a new level of chaos.
And it's almost like a fear-mongering and fear factor.
Yeah, just that whole, like, omnipotent, the Great and Powerful Laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man behind the curtain. Yeah, even have it that.
Yeah.
Have it be someone like Chinook. That situation.
Yeah.
Shang Tsung tells Sub-Zero and Mileena to kill them, but Raiden uses his powers to put a lightning shield between them. They leave, but not before Cole and Sub-Zero lock eyes. Did like that, though, because I'm always amazed by Sub-Zero. I love as well the fact that none of this is dark.
Yes.
This is in a really
You can
pretty...
see everything.
Everything. And everyone there is in makeup. They're real. They're real fucking people.
And Sub-Zero, he has that fear factor, man. So,
The eyes, what they've done with the contact lenses and everything like that, and the skin...
The Sub-Zero's from the previous ones. I thought he was good in the previous ones, but he never really had that.
He was good in the first one, not Annihilation.
Yeah,
the guy in Annihilation,
yeah.
flying
Oh,
in.
God, yeah. That was terrible, yeah. But I mean, like, Conquest.
Was a good Sub-Zero too.
It was good, yeah, but it never really had that, I'm a badass.
No, it didn't, because they were too busy doing shit with Scorpion and Sub-Zero's family.
Yeah.
Training begins. This is where the film slows down for me. As, I know why, but it does slow down.
Yeah.
Training begins and Liu Kang tells them of Arcana. Their inner power that is a gift from the dragon marking. Which I'm like, unlucky Sonya. Kano basically does the same thing as well. But I was a bit like, gutted.
But I like it too because it sort of hints again towards like Annihilation, obviously, where Liu Kang turns into a dragon. So like, but it's sort of hinting like they have that special ability.
Well, I thought it was more to explain the sort of magic elements away. Don't bring beasts into this. Do not bring that. Please, God, I hope they don't do that. I hope they never do that.
So do I too, but...
Don't bring it up. Don't mention it in case that gives them ideas.
That's very true.
I'm kind of hoping that we never really bring Shao Kahn into this.
Really?
As a background figure, but not as the big boss.
Not as a guy sitting on a throne.
That's what I mean.
Like, watching him over. I would love for him to come in and fight. Well, why not?
Because once he's done, it's over. Training is to unlock that power. We see that Jax has been given metal arms while Sonya waits with him. He wakes up and is pretty disorientated and naturally a little upset about his arms. I was like, can't blame you, dude. I'm not mocking him. The dude's good. He's a good actor. I enjoy him.
Yeah, he plays well.
Cole is training with Kung Lao to unlock his Arcana, but fails. Kano is sarcastic before Liu Kang steps in the ring with him. Liu Kang puts him down straight away, and then again making a joke about it being the only move he knows. I like when Kano did that. Is any move you know? I was like, who in the games, if you play as Liu Kang, who the fuck did not just do the leg sweep over and over again? Yep. Kung Lao points out that they aren't very good. He's not wrong. Later, Liu is fixing up Cole's wound, and Cole asks him about finding his Arcana. Liu tells him that he has to dig into his soul, something that matters to him, before telling him about his past. So I was a bit like, I didn't love this scene. Because the moment he's like, oh, something you care about in your soul, I'm like, family.
Yeah, that's right.
Family. There you go, got it. And particularly the daughter, more than anything else. But I like Liu's retelling of his past, being an orphan boy, basically Aladdin. That kind of thing. But it fills in the blanks about Kung Lao as well, the relationship with Kung Lao. Kung Lao found him, took him under his wing. Yeah, so Liu Kang feels a debt, but also sees him as an older brother. Liked it. Back to training, as we said at Cole, still can't unlock his Arcana. We then see Sonya driving Jax to learn how to use his new arms, but he's struggling and really bummed out about them. He can't quite get power in them or anything like that, the old kind of metal arms. So I thought that was an interesting wrinkle. Yeah. The group are having dinner together, and Kano is continuing to be a dick. I love this scene. This argument and the insulting going on is fucking hilarious. Kung Lao gives it back to him, insulting him. Kano's getting mad, and Liu Kang then joins in the insulting. You're like a angry bunny. Kano's had enough, and the pair seemingly know what they're doing. They're doing his purpose. Continue to push him. Furious, Kano unlocks his Arcana, which is the ability to shoot a laser out of his right eye. And as Kano, I love the fact the argument dissipates. Everyone's pleased for him. He's like, sweet, fucking better than a fireball. Cole is still unable to awaken his despite his persistence. Disappointed with his lack of Arcana, Raiden's like, mate, you suck. Fuck out of here, bro. Sends him back to his family. You're no good to me, go. While revealing at the same time that he's a descendant of Hayashi. So he drops that information out there straight away. Cole arrives home and is greeted by his wife. You're like, oh, okay, cool. See you, Cole. No worries. Shang Tsung, though, is gathering his warriors. Sub-Zero, Melina, Katara, General Rico, and Kano's former ally, Cabal. And he sends them to attack the temple. Cabal says, I love Cabal's voice as well. The voice actor is great. Cabal says he can deal with Kano. Look, I can deal with Kano. We go way back. He's the reason I'm in this iron lung. So that was a great explanation of why Cabal looks the way Cabal looks. And the door then opens and Shang Tsung greets Prince Goro. Although we only see his shadow. Which I liked. Shame what he ends up looking like. Yeah. Cabal arrives at the temple and meets Kano. They have some back and forth before Cabal convinces Kano to defect and sabotage the shield, which Kano does. I liked it. I was like, yeah, that's Kano. Black Dragon guy.
Didn't take him long either.
Nope.
Which it shows you where his...
Whichever side.
Easily bought,
Yeah, whichever side works best for him. It's totally Kano. At Cole's house, he's alerted to a presence in his barn. Shang Tsung and his assassins then arrive at the temple with Kano on his side. Cole goes to the barn, so we're jumping between the two scenes, and is attacked by a CGI Goro. So, this doesn't look great. No. They try and hide it in the dark, but simply put, he looks like a big green CGI Goro.
Back in time.
Get back in time!
Now, I'm not saying they should have used live action practical effect for him here, because let's not forget, Goro from the first, no. But I'm not too sure why this one doesn't look so good compared to a lot of the other stuff. It just doesn't look very good.
They struggled a lot with this, and I think actually, every film has tried to use
Goro.
Goro, or even what's his sister called? I don't know.
Oh God, what is it? Shiva?
Oh.
Is it Shiva?
Yeah,
I think it's Shiva.
Don't want to die straight. They've all struggled to get that
Forearms look.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So I thought they tried to make him go with the Hulk, but with forearms.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they could have just like avoided Goro full stop and then used something else.
too big of a name.
Yeah.
But I suspect that's why they do the following.
Yeah. Get rid of him.
Yeah. We then cut between two sets of fights: the temple fight and Cole's fight with Goro. Both are good to okay.
Yeah.
Some marks are better than others, showing off the powers and skills of everyone. In the first portion of the scene, because this is a big scene, the first portion of the scene in the temple, the important parts that you should take note of are Jax unlocking his Arcana, which basically boosts his arm power, turning him to powerful metal arms.
Yep.
Loved it.
Yeah,
Thought that was a clever touch for things. Melina showing off her fangs. Love Melina's look.
Yeah,
Love it. And Kung Lao killing Katara in the film's most what the fuck scene.
No.
It is incredibly bloody.
Yes.
That scene alone would have got them a hard rating. Because he does it for the hat.
Yep.
And he gets splattered with the blood.
I know.
But just as important as Cole's family are about to be killed by Goro, Cole unlocks his Arcana, which appears, and I'm going to be super mean here, a long sleeve top that protects his upper bodies, allowing him to build up power to strike. He can also materialise a set of tonfas. Wow. I was generally so underwhelmed by this. I was like, wait, his Arcana is a top?
A top, yeah. I mean,
That's-
considering he's like a brand new character.
Could come with something more imaginative?
Yeah.
And it's like, he gets hit in there, and it absorbs the power that he can then use for his fists.
Yeah.
And then later he can materialise a set of tonfas in his hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good God, that's as bland as the character. Like, it's just not very interesting.
No.
Cole defeats Goro, kills him.
Yep.
There you go, Goro out. And as I said, I wonder if it's just like, you know what, we've got rid of him.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the other one never shows up.
No. That would happen.
Yeah. Raiden arrives and faces off against Shang Tsung.
Yeah, brilliant.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, the God.
Yep.
Why he's better than Jeffrey Meek.
Yeah.
Before sending a signal for Cole to join them, which he does. And I do love the fact that it seems as though we now realise that it was Raiden's plan.
Yes.
And he actually thanks Shang Tsung for helping him, because you sent Cole after him. He knew, Goro, he knew that Cole's Arcana might be unlocked by his family being in threat. It's risky, but it worked.
Yep.
So bravo. Raiden then tells Sub-Zero, referring to him as Bihan. Love that he brought back the old name.
Yes.
Sub-Zero's like, don't you call me that. That the Hayashi bloodline lives on in Cole, and Sub-Zero's like, the fuck? Like, again, facial, because remember, all out eyes, and he does a lot of good narrowing of the eyes to be like, you shit. He then teleports most of the Earthrealm fighters away, but Cole is knocked out of his by Sub-Zero, who goes to kill him. Kung Lao stops him, but his soul is taken by Shang Tsung. Liu Kang unable to save him because he's been fighting Cabal, and Cabal and Liu Kang's fights are good.
Yes.
Because Cabal moves fast.
Yes.
And I liked it. Cole drags Liu Kang away, and they're teleported by Raiden. So let's go back to the death of Kung Lao.
Yeah.
It's a shocking moment.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that they were brave enough to kill a hero off.
Yes.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Love the soul sucking. Love that it's not just the soul coming out, but going into Shang Tsung that seems to transform Shang Tsung slightly as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a big fan of the scene.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, Kung Lao, big character, man. Big character.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also then creates new motivation for Liu Kang. Our heroes find themselves in the Void, a safe space between realms. Basically, when Neo and Morpheus go in that white area. Liu is upset about Kung Lao, and Jax asks why Raiden didn't... Right, okay, I just remembered this part. So I think this is a terrible scene. Liu is upset about Kung Lao, and Jax asks why Raiden didn't you save him. So Raiden explains, I can't interfere in the worlds. I'm a god. You're supposed to duck it out with each other.
Yep.
And I'm like, that was so for us.
Yes.
Jax asked that so that we don't sit there going, why did Raiden save him? Why did he teleport him out there?
Yeah.
Bullshit, dude. You could have why could you not teleport him out there?
He could have done it, yeah.
You could have teleported him out. If you're putting lightning shields up to stop them
Exactly,
fighting,
exactly.
why could you not teleport him out of there?
Yeah.
I don't buy it. It's such bullshit.
It is, yeah.
Cole then says it's not over and they need to fight. Raiden then gives him Hanzo's kunai. That's what it is. That's a kunai.
Yeah.
Which still has Hanzo's blood on it. Could have cleaned it. Fucking dick. Telling him that using it would get Hanzo's spirit to fight alongside him. Cole proposes a plan to force Outworld's champions in a single combat with those from the Earthrealm, before they all take out Sub-Zero together, forcing the tournament that Shang Tsung has tried to prevent. So, the movie goes, right, look, time to speed things up.
Yeah.
As basically, in a very quick flashing cuts, Raiden just transports everybody to each other in areas that are designed to look like levels from the games, and they're just going to fight. And apparently this is now the tournament.
Yes.
But then, like I said, we questioned and joked at the start, joked earlier on off screen, should I say, that one of these isn't fair, as it's 3-on-1. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Transport and Cole and his allies to the targets, that's what Raiden does. We get Jax sent to Rico, Sonya to Kano, Liu and Cole to take Cabal and Mileena. So that's the lineup, and then they'll all meet up to take out Sub-Zero. Everyone is teleported to their respective fights. Jax wins his first, killing Reiko with his head smash fatality.
Yeah, these motherfuckers work.
Fight shit.
Yeah.
It's the worst fight in it.
Yeah, definitely.
It actually reminds me of Jax vs. Montara from
Yes.
Annihilation, which is
Yeah.
not good.
No.
I know it's got a gory end, the whole buff that, but like the character Rico is shit.
Yeah, pointless character.
Absolutely. Sonya fights Kano, bit better. Manages to kill him. Hated her for that.
Yep.
Really, you're killing Kano this early?
I don't think they needed to kill him.
No, but he had to get a fucking dragon tattoo. She gains his dragon mark while also getting the ability to fire purple energy blast as her own arcana. Okay, fine.
Yep.
She then joins the fight with Cole and Liu. Liu having killed Cabal, which is a good scene. I like Cabal's ending.
Yep.
Very violent. The fiery dragon. Boom.
Tell me, Blondie, how does that feel?
Feels fucking amazing.
And Sonya uses her power to blow Mileena's stomach out and kill her. What I liked about this was it showed that like not everything has to be punch, fight, punch.
Yes.
Sometimes the right move can just blast and destroy someone. And Mileena's dead.
Yep.
But all of this happens in a space of about 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's very rushed.
And you're like, whoa, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We then see Cole's family making a run for it, but they're too late. Sub-Zero arrives and abducts them so we can lure, basically, Cole to a one-on-one fight, which works.
Yep.
And Cole follows Sub-Zero through a portal, arriving at their gym he fought in, but all covered in ice. Sub-Zero attacks, declaring that he will end the bloodline. Cole fights, but gets his ass kicked, rightfully so.
Yep.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, though, makes the mistake. God, don't do this. Americans are weird about this.
Yep.
Don't mention my family. You can call me whatever you want, but don't you dare say my family.
Yeah.
Which Sub-Zero mentions his family, and Cole then uses the kunai to attack Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is able to turn it on him, but Cole grabs it with his hand, draining the blood from it, and releasing the spirit of Hanzo, who appears as Scorpion. So, we'll stop here. First part of the fight. What do you think? Cole vs. Sub-Zero?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alright. Slow. It's one thing I really noticed when it comes to Cole and Sub-Zero.
Yeah. It's like because they're the two main characters. That's what I'm trying to say. So we want more time.
I do appreciate being able to see it. Like, I know my complaint is about being slow sounds unfair, because at the same time I'm going, I can see every punch, I can see every hit, I can follow along with it. That's not a bad thing. So I know my complaint's not valid.
Do you know one of the things that this movie does, which I like? We don't have their friends just standing around with their arms folded, like off camera,
Or just disappearing completely.
It's literally either a one-on-one or everyone's too busy fighting.
Or doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not even there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, the arrival of Hanzo, Scorpion.
Yeah.
What do you think of his look?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a vast improvement.
Those two. I mean, there's a reason why they're on the front cover.
Yep.
Because they everyone knows they are the main.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that they give it a similar look to obviously Sub-Zero's, but it is obviously different.
Yep.
It also seems to have like a lot of cultural references stuff in it.
Yep.
It looks like it's Japanese and that elements, but as well just hints of yellow. Hints. But I like the fact that initially he's got a hood up as well, and that comes down too. Sub-Zero and Scorpion fight. The best fight in the film.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the reason why it's the best fight in the film, right, is because they built this one up.
Yep.
Like, this is the fight you've been waiting all film to see.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're like, okay, this has got stakes. I'm into it. And Cole is removed from the picture.
Yes.
So like, I'm excited for this one. But as they fight, and there's a decent battle where no one ever really gets the upper hand, but people get damaged, including Hanzo as well.
Yep.
Cole is trying to rescue his family, smashing the ice with his fists. When he's doing that, did you not realise the big problem with that suit thing he's got on?
Yeah, he has no power and someone's attacking him.
Also, a bit similar to Jax's
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
with the arms. That's what I thought. But for some reason, Sub-Zero, and I did not get this at all, sees that and goes, oh, I'm going to get his attention, and shoots ice shards at him, forcing Cole to defend himself, and then resulting in him now, Sub-Zero, having to fight both of them.
Yes.
And I was like, why would you do that? That made no sense.
Yeah.
Is it an arrogance thing? Do you think it was an arrogance thing? Which I'm so tough I can fight both of them? Or he thought he could sneak attack Cole?
Possible, yeah. Yeah, possible, yeah.
Recognising Cole as the descendant, Scorpion helps him defeat Sub-Zero and free his family before killing Sub-Zero with fire. So the last part of this is super violent, super heavy moves, a lot of good use of the blade.
Yep.
And elements like that. Nice amount of blood. I should mention as well, when Scorpion first appears, he does do the get over here thing. Yeah. And that's really cool. I was happy with this fight and was happy with it ended. I like that B-Han takes his mask off.
Yep.
And is still defiant at the end when he's like pretty much dead and saying like for the Lin Kuei. I like the final move where he gets launched in the air and dragged and slammed back down. I like the ending. It's very Scorpion. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you make of Scorpion being a good guy? Does that fit with your sort of narrative head? Are you okay with that? There's quite a big difference.
There's a few things which I'm concerned for number 2. Now, I'm concerned the fact that they killed off a lot of big characters.
Yep.
So that means there'll be no Sub-Zero number 2, unless there's another Lin Kuei somewhere out there.
Right.
I'm hoping that, because obviously everyone knows that Sub-Zero and Scorpion have a rivalry.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that maybe Shang Tsung, if he or someone, and he turns bad somehow, because surely he is the bad guy number 2.
Interesting. I'm gonna make my bold prediction.
Yeah.
They will not be in the franchise going forward. Either will anyone else. I think I think the films are going to be smart enough. I think to know we don't need them. We did the story with them.
Yep.
That's it. Who else can we now use, and how do we use them, and what other characters can we use?
It could do, yeah.
And do we and are they brave enough to introduce some new bad guys?
Could do, yeah.
Yeah, could do.
Yep.
Absolutely. What I wouldn't want to see in a sequel is a rehash. And after going through the story of Hanzo and his soul being like his soul's free,
Yeah.
to turn him bad would feel weird. It just wouldn't gel well with what happened in the original. Like instantly, it'd create this disconnect between the two, and unless he did it in a really clever way.
Well, he's been in the hell. He's been in the hell when he's or whatever.
Yeah, but he's not anymore.
Yeah, but so obviously, he's so I don't know. His soul might have been twisted. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, why would that? If that was the case, if they just started number 2 and went Scorpion's soul's been twisted, wouldn't you be like, fuck off? That's well lazy. It doesn't dent the importance of his role in the first film, because here's the thing: this is not the first thing to do Scorpion as a good guy.
No.
There was an online series that did Scorpion as a good guy. Now, Sub-Zero for a different story, though. Sub-Zero as a creature coming back from the hell, dead and all that, is something I think could be done. But we shall see.
Yeah.
Anyway, before he leaves, he thanks Cole for freeing him and requests that he take care of the bloodline. He departs as Raiden and the other champions and Shang Tsung arrive. Everyone just pops in. Shang Tsung, seeing that he's been defeated, vows that next time he'll bring armies instead of individual fighters. So that's why I've been like, maybe we're not going to play around with Shere Khan.
Yeah.
Yet. As he sends his champions' corpses back to Outworld before Raiden banishes him. Now, I thought that was a really interesting hint.
Yes.
He brings the corpses back. So that suggests
Okay.
they may not saying they're dead, but he may be able to do something with them.
Yes, yeah.
Raiden declares his intentions to train new warriors in preparation for the next tournament and assigns his current champions to recruit them. And we end with what is a fun little hint towards a sequel, as Cole departs for LA in search of Johnny Cage.
Yep.
As you see a poster in the lower half with Johnny Cage written at the bottom.
Yep.
And that's how the movie ends. I like it. I like the ending.
Yeah, it's a good ending, but I said,
Go on.
Who knows? I mean, the fact that Shang Tsung. I mean, there might even be a Shang Khan in this. Shang Tsung could be the main bad guy.
When we went to Outworld,
yeah.
do you remember when we went to Outworld the first time? He was sitting in like a fucking throne.
Yeah,
so there may not.
He could be the boss.
Yeah, we may. But then I think likely, because remember with a sequel you ramp up, and if you're planning to do more films in this franchise, Shang Tsung be bad of the very second film. But then you have Shere Khan in the shadows, ready to be the next person in line.
Yeah.
I think it's very unlikely we will not see Shere Khan in this franchise.
It's got to be at some point.
Unless the second film sucks so bad, they just don't bother going forward. Unless they
it.
Annihilation it.
Yeah, because I mean they could easily make a couple of these if they don't fuck up.
Oh yeah, I can see a trilogy.
Yeah.
But overall, I still think this is a good movie.
It is a good film, yeah.
I think it's enjoyable. I think it's nice and tight and snappy. Aside from the slow middle part with the training, but again, I feel like, well, they have to do something around that, so I can't complain too much.
Every film has a slow part where they got to explain the story, like, but obviously,
They do, but it can be should be more interesting than this. It feels like for me, in the middle part, all I hear is Arcana, Arcana. And it's like, okay, all right, I get it. But then we are that's into space with some good scenes, like Kano stealing, like Kano at the dinner. Basically, every time Kano's on screen, it gets better.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they were very brave killing a lot of characters off.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Kano.
Yeah, Kano was a real surprise for me, killing him off. Absolutely. I have to ask a question then, and this is what's untying. So, give me a rundown then of the five characters that stood out the most from you from top to the fifth. Stood out.
I mean, first it's got to be Sub-Zero.
Okay, Sub-Zero number one.
He's the first. Then Kano.
2.
Jax.
3.
Yeah, Jax. Because obviously, as soon as you heard the word Jax, my judgment was straight away. I was like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Gonna be crap. But yeah, no, impressive. Liu Kang.
4.
Kung Lao.
5. Where's Cole? Why is he not in your top 5? Do you see the problem?
Yeah.
He's the guy we're supposed to care about the most.
Yep.
He's the only one whose family we see. Talking of family, did you give a shit? There were like 2 or 3 scenes.
No.
His daughter gave him a rope wristband. Isn't that adorable?
Maybe she's going to be a major character number 2. Who knows?
She could be. She absolutely could be.
Could be a fire.
So your ranking, I'd have changed a few bits up.
I miss obviously Scorpion, but for me,
he's only in one
He's only
scene,
the end of it, so yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, he'd potentially be a 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
But then, right, then continue onwards. 5. So Scorpion 6.
Shang Tsung.
7.
Cabal.
Right. Raiden, Sonya, all of them.
I mean, they're on the list too, but I mean, probably bottom it is Cole.
That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I will say it again, I don't dislike the guy that plays him. He's got a nice look. He's quite interesting. But then what they did, it just made him so boring, where it's like, his Kana is going to be, I love my family. So lots of people love their fucking family, dude.
Yeah,
You're special.
His stories was terrible. His power was
Just
great.
Just it wasn't interesting. That's what bothers me the most about it. But do I think he's a good actor though? Yeah, I think he was alright.
Yep.
Talking of which, then, who do you think was the best and worst actors? The ones that really did, and the acting's pretty good across the board. Best and worst. Start with best.
Best acting wise, it's got to be Kano. Kano's got to be the best because he's fighter, funny. His time is perfect.
Yep.
Worst.
Bit harder, isn't it?
I'd have to go. And again, it's nothing against the actor, but it's Cole.
Really? Okay.
It's not against the actor. It's just the way his part was written.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to say best with Kano. I think you're right there. But the worst for me is a toss-up between Sonya Blade, because a lot of the stuff she just says is the same.
Yeah.
And she never really seems that, like, emotionally invested compared to the rest. But the other I'm going to say is Liu Kang. Is while I like the character and I like what they're doing with, I felt like they kept him purposely monk-like until that scene where Kung Lao dies.
Yeah.
And then basically, they're almost like, hold stuff back. We want to use you properly in the sequel.
Yeah, little fire on it.
Yeah, and that kind of like didn't really work as much for me. Character-wise, the new ones, Rico and the Flying Bird Lady were crap. both of them were crap. Didn't you agree?
Yeah.
Didn't like them at all. So I hope if they're going to come up with new baddies in the sequels, think a bit more outside the box, please.
Yeah, a bit more, yeah.
You know, because what Mortal Kombat has some imaginative ideas like Cabal and things like that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to remove them, you're going to have to replace them with some different ones.
Yes.
And don't just hopefully go to the sequel and go, well, let's just use this more. Let's use different variations of, like, no more ninjas.
Yeah.
We don't need a reptile. We don't need fucking noob Cybot.
Yep.
We don't need any of that crap.
Or another Sub-Zero or something.
Yeah, we don't need that.
If you're going to use Sub-Zero again, it'll
Be a demonic.
Yeah, the same one, but literally demonic, like I said, yeah.
What I'd like to see them is like have it like where like icicles are smashed out of his arms and head, because he's demonic almost to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But I think what I think's cool about this movie is that while it is probably really only for fans of the game, I think if you don't really follow the games or like the games, you can still get on with this. You can still follow it.
Yeah,
you probably likely think it's nonsense more than perhaps as gamers do.
Yeah.
But I think you'll enjoy a lot of it.
Yeah,
What's your biggest criticism? My biggest criticism of it is simply this. It's the fighting is often too slow for my liking. That's my biggest criticism. What do you reckon yours is?
Mine is simple. It's Goro. You know,
Good one.
And for me, the film is perfect for my taste, other than Goro.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why they killed him off very quickly.
We hope it is anyway.
Well, we presume so, because obviously it was a very difficult CGI to do.
He's a difficult character to do, as we've seen before. So yeah, absolutely. I think we'll both be quite excited for a sequel, right?
Yeah.
Normally I'd be like, for example, Assassin's Creed. They'll go, oh yeah, make Assassin's Creed 2. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It can't be worse than the first, right? Whereas now I'll be like, but then I'd also have a lot of, I don't know you, I'd have a lot of trepidation because of Annihilation. And remember what a sequel has to do. A sequel must be bigger, badder, better. And it's like, oh shit, that's what Annihilation tried to do.
Yeah.
And that really fucking went wrong.
I'm pretty sure back in 96 or whenever I first saw Mortal Kombat, I was thinking the same thing.
I remember.
It was brilliant, it was epic. And then number 2 came out, I was like, oh god.
I remember when Annihilation came out, rented it on video, on VHS, for my birthday. And I was so stoked.
Yeah.
And look at us now, 2022, talking about Mortal Kombat 2021 and saying it is the best thing to come in movie format.
Yep.
Live action overall.
Yes.
Live action overall, because it is better than Conquest.
Yes.
To date, which I never thought I'd say.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you reckon of Mortal Kombat? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?